Monitoring needs a checklist. I will give you the safety guidelines of the checklist later. That was also listed in your notes. Then foundation work should be carried out such that, okay, this is not part in your notes, but I want this to be reinforced so that you can understand fully, okay, what does mean on the point written in your notes. Foundation work should be carried out such that the construction in accordance with the plans approved by the building authority. Therefore, you cannot implement any construction work without the municipality issuing you a permit to commence your work. Okay, sometimes the preparation of the consultant will commit some inconsistency if we compare to the general implementation of construction. Then only the municipality is the authority to give you permit whether your work is in accordance with the rules and regulation of building codes and safety. Okay? Therefore, plans approved by the building authority. The second, suitable methods and sequence are adopted so as not to cause damage to any building structure, land, street, or services. Therefore, suitable means accepted or adequate. That your methods, sequence means procedure or step-by-step implementation. Adopted means to use or to utilize. Then you must have a system to be adopted or utilized. That such procedure should not cause damage to other properties, building or structures, or other land or street. Streets are owned by the government. And services. Maybe there are electrical lines, sewer lines, fiber optics cable that are embedded below your building structure to be underpinned. Then number 3, adequate precautionary and protective measures are provided to assure the safety of the workers on site. Okay, as a construction manager, later, you are on the monitoring of the safety of your workers on site. You must delegate or you must assign a safety supervisor or safety inspector for the welfare of your workers on site. Otherwise, something will happen and you will be the one responsible for not having called attention on that matter. Okay, next. These structural problems on building foundation may be solved by underpinning. Therefore, the consolidation, the settlement, the safety, in order that to make your building safe, the solution will be underpinning. And there are 2 types of underpinning that we are to study. Okay? The first is this underpinning will be achieved by pouring concrete underneath the shallow footings to strengthen the unstable soil stratum. Meaning that if you have an existing foundation and it is already old and it's not capable of holding the present load occupancy of a given structure, then it needs to be retrofit or to be underpinned. Okay? Then it should be by pouring concrete underneath the shallow foundation. And how can it be done? I will give you the procedure later. Then other forms of underpinning include pile foundation and pressure grouting. Therefore, pile foundation in our unitary, it involves large piles where we are using the pile driver machines that will cause vibration in the ground, or sometimes auger pile driver that I have explained to you on our previous units. Okay? In the underpinning, we are to use micropiles later. Okay? Then underpinning, the process of placing a new foundation under an existing one, or strengthening an existing foundation. Therefore, what should we do? First, okay, analysis, site investigation, preparation of resources, mobilization, then excavation, earthwork support, examination of the existing structure, then I will give you the procedure later on how to perform the underpinning work so that you know the step-by-step implementation of the work to be done inside. The second is pressure grouting. Pressure grouting is the use of fluid cement to stabilize the soil foundation. And it can be performed by jack pile method. Okay, without a pile driving machine, maybe it is very small. Then you only need a jack. Okay, it is called a jack pile method. Now, several reasons the installation of underpinning is necessary. Okay, necessary means required or needed. Number one, the building itself becoming unstable through the passage of time and exposed to wear and tear, meaning that the building is already old. Okay, and the owner do not want it to be demolished and to be constructed by a new one. Maybe he wanted it to be restored and to be on its original architectural presentation. Okay, maybe there is a architectural value or conservation, or it has historical participation on the story of a certain location, that it must not be demolished into a new one, it must be preserved. Therefore, it is called architectural preservation or conservation. Then, it needs your services to underpin such structure, okay, to prepare whatever the resources needed for the performance of such activity. Number two, the building occupancy load factor has changed that it requires to be stronger. Shall we say, the owner wanted to change the occupancy from residential to commercial because the zoning classification of a certain locality changes. Okay, from residential to commercial. Therefore, the owner is allowed now to open business on that location. Therefore, residential only serves a handful of occupants, while that for commercial, it will be now open to the public. Then it is expected that many occupants will be visiting that building. Then it will be catering or serving heavy loads already. Okay, maybe the structural components present cannot handle the revision of the occupancy load factor. Then it needs to be underpinned or to be stabilized. Therefore, this is number two. Number three, the foundation stratum supporting the structure is becoming unstable through subsidence. Okay, therefore, what is subsidence? Okay, I will give you the definition that is not part of your notes, because maybe you will open the English dictionary and it will give you a different definition of subsidence. Okay? The subsidence that I will be providing you for a definition is specifically used only on the technical aspect of underpinning. Okay? Then, it is the softening of the ground and therefore affecting its load-bearing capacity, resulting in the downward movement of the foundation caused by leaking drain or water main pipe. Maybe because the structure is very old and there are water pipes that are already damaged, then leaks. Then such water will be mixing with your cohesionless foundation. Then it will flow to the lower ground and will carry your cohesionless soil foundation. Then it will have a cave-in on your soil stratum. And such cave-in will create a void. And if it happens that such cave-in is in the location of the foundation itself, meaning that it will come a time that your foundation is not already settling on the soil stratum. It will be hollow. Then it will collapse because no soil is supporting it under it. You understand? Because the soil stratum is already drained by the water flowing, going to the lower portion of a site location. Okay? Therefore, that is what you call subsidence. Or, in general, it is the washing away of fine particles in the non-coercive soil and reducing the volume of the soil on the foundation of your building structure. Now, the soil bearing capacity of the foundation has changed, specifically the rising of the water table. What is the effect of the water table, okay, infiltrating your soil foundation? You cannot learn this in the quantity surveying specialization, but in civil engineering, there is a course that they study under geotechnical engineering. Okay, I will give you a basic principle of the effect of water table on the soil stratum. Suppose if we have the ground level, this is the soil ground level. It is not having a water table or no water existing below it. Therefore, the unit weight of soil, which is a property of your soil stratum, let's say is 20 kilonewton per cubic meter. Now, when the inclement weather will occur on a certain period, it will rain. Okay, then the rain will infiltrate the soil. Then your soil will be mixed with water. Okay, suppose the water is on the same level with your soil stratum. Therefore, there is now the existence of unit weight of water, which you have learned from your physics to be 9.81 kilonewton per cubic meter. Therefore, the effect of water infiltration on your soil foundation will not make your foundation stronger, but it will make it weaker. Therefore, for that purpose, this unit weight of water is subtracted to the unit weight of soil. Therefore, it will come out that you have only 10.19 kilonewton per cubic meter as the net unit weight of your soil, meaning that it weakens if there is a presence of water table. It almost reduces the strength of your soil by 1/2 because of the water table. And such occurrence will be giving problem to your soil stratum and may cause displacement or settlement. Is there any question? You have now the basic information of geotechnical engineering, that is the effect of water. That's why, as a quantity surveyor or manager, you must allocate a certain budget for that. Okay, you must see to it that such type of problem will not occur on the construction of your building structure later. Next, the soil foundation was never adequate enough to sustain the structural load and was built incorrectly to start with. Now, this is the problem of some engineers having specialization in geotechnical engineering. Maybe they create a blunder. What do you mean by blunder? In your surveying, as I have taught you, a blunder is a big mistake. Okay? Mistake is wrong already. And the last is error. The first is error. It will be error can be straightened out or can be corrected. Mistake maybe can be revised, but blunder is really a serious mistake. Okay? Then, if the geotechnical engineer have committed a blunder, then it was made to be the basis of the design of the concrete foundation. Then the concrete foundation have already been constructed on site. Then it was analyzed that there is a miscalculation of the presentation of the geotechnical data in computation. But it is already set, it is already made on site. Then what you will do? The only solution is underpinning. Okay? Therefore, maybe others cannot provide solution, but engineers can still have, okay, the last solution for you. Okay, that is what you are here to work for. Next, to restore an existing structure rather than to construct a new one, as I have said. Sometimes the structure of the building is to be conserved. It has an historical participation on the events that have happened before, maybe 200 years ago. Okay? There are significant events that have happened in that structure, then it must be preserved, it will be preserved. Therefore, there will be changes that will be made or revisions, except from strengthening or restoration of that structure to be converted as a new one, but of the same appearance. Okay, that is your word. Then, when adjacent buildings is to be constructed, which would change the property of the supporting soil. For example, your ancestors, maybe 50 years ago, have constructed a building on a site that there are no neighboring structures here. Okay? So let's say it is an arid land that your ancestors have built. It is a desert. It is made of two structures only. But because of these locations that have been popular at present, then businessmen have come to do business on that location where your ancestors have been the first to discover. Therefore, high-rise buildings have been being built on them through the years. Okay? Then the effect of this high-rise building will compress the soil of the location that it is being built, and such compression will spoil the soil stratum where your ancestors have built their light building. Okay? Then maybe such building will be reasonable because of the effect of the change in the soil loading. Okay? Then, if there is displacement or movement, maybe it will create crack because you disturb, okay, the normal characteristics of the soil. Okay? Is there any question? Understand now? Okay. Therefore, all of these problems that I have presented, you will be the one to solve it later. Okay? Because nobody can solve this except you. As engineers, as geotechnical engineers, as quantity surveyor, you will be forming a group, okay, or a firm to combine your knowledge in order that to solve all of these problems. Therefore, these are the images of whatever solution that you will be providing just to solve the problems that I have presented earlier. Okay? These are micropiles. This is different from the piles that we have studied in Unit 3. These are smaller piles. Okay, as you can see, it involves only 4 main bars, and then concrete is injected in it by pressure grouting. Okay, then the finished product will be looking this way. Is there any question? You can visualize it now. What will be the activity that you will be doing on site? You will be the construction manager performing this work activity. Now, sometimes micropiles cannot be handled by jack pile method. It needs a pile driving equipment, but not as large as what I have presented before. That it needs auger or it needs a pile hammer. Okay, it is just simply a small equipment, maybe as large as a small car, that can drill micropiles. Then what is the advantage of using this type of equipment? maybe the location has limited access because we are doing jobs that are almost constructed already and under renovation. Maybe the access of large equipment will make it impossible or not possible to perform the pile drilling work, and it needs only smaller equipment to infiltrate for the micropile installation. But the advantage, it will incur low vibration because it is only small, then it will have a low vibration effect. It is quick to install because it is portable. Portable means you can hand carry it. You can hand carry it. Okay. Then minimal disruption. If we say minimal disruption, less minimal. Disruption means obstruction, hindrance, problem, delay. Okay? Then, no spoil created. As I have said, spoil is the bulging of soil foundation below the ground level. Then it cannot create spoil because it only involves small piles to be real and round. As you can see, operator and the banksman with the ratio of their size with respect to the equipment being utilized to drill micropiles, it is small compared to the pile hammer and the auger equipment, pile driver that we are using in large pile. Okay? We will talk of the banksman and the operator later. This is for the slope stabilization. As you can see, these are the images. Then, micropiles can also perform in an inclined installation like a raking pile. Okay? This is mostly utilized in slope stabilization. So let's say you are constructing a highway, then you need to excavate mountains, and the sloping ground of such mountain maybe is not stabilized and rocks, loose rocks will be falling down. Then what you will do? You establish a micropile on it and then have a screen and then have a masonry work so that it will be having a smooth surface and will not collapse while the car is passing by on your expressway. Now you know already the problems and the implementation of the micropiles. Then the most important part is safety. Okay, before starting the job, you must have a safety checklist. We have learned that in our commissioning and testing. Okay, before being signed, you must observe the safety requirements. But this is in the conduct of underpinning works. This safety guidelines is based on the construction design and management regulation that was introduced in April 2007. Okay? This is for the purpose of those involved in the construction projects to comply with the health and safety requirements in the conduct of underpinning works. Then these safety guidelines, if you are already in the industry performing your job as a underpinning supervisor or maybe a construction manager, you can do a checklist out of this. That before you commission a work activity or to start the work activity, you can create a checklist out of it. Okay, to assess the deficiency and to decide whether you start the project or not. Okay, you can make a checklist out of this. Number one, investigate existing services before excavation work will start. Okay? It needs to be assessed or evaluated whether there are electrical lines existing, there are water lines that were installed before, or fiber optic cabling. before underpinning works will be done. Okay? Maybe there is a live wire of an electrical line that was laid out before, and it will be hit by a jack or by a micropile, then your manpower will be electrocuted. Okay? Therefore, you are not performing the right safety precaution because you overlook it in your checklist. Okay? Number 2, check that underpinning pits cannot be flooded by water or exposed to gas leaks. Meaning that before excavation, you must see to it that there is no existence of water on the vicinity that the water will flow on your embankment or your pit. There is not a your pit, it is an excavated area. You computed this in measurement 1, the barrow pit volume. Okay? Taught to you by Mr. Mr. Ahmed. Okay? Al-Marouki. Number 3, strengthen the superstructure before excavation. Meaning that before you remove the soil stratum so that you can replace it by your underpinning works, see to it that it is braced. There will be temporary scaffoldings, there will be shoring, or maybe you will provide an earthwork support on it. Understand? In earthwork support, you have learned already the measurement of such activity in your measurement 1. And as you pass by from our college going out, you can see there the work of the telecommunication company, that they are having a present layout of the fiber optics cabling on the sidewalk. Then they are using hard PVC earthworks. Okay? You can visualize it. You can observe it outside. Then, check that existing walls over the excavation are adequate to sustain the existing load. Okay? As a quantity surveyor, you need the specialization of the structural engineer to assess whether that wall that you are being to work into is a bearing or a non-bearing wall. Okay? It must be checked by the structural engineer. Otherwise, you cannot perform the job without their approval. Then, number 5, provision of earthwork support on the sides of the excavation. I have already mentioned this before. Working spaces must be ensured that workers can escape from pits easily. Working spaces. In your measurement 1, you consider this already as part of your activity in your description table. You have the standard form of measurement for working spaces. Okay? That your manpower can move comfortably on the working spaces that you have provided whenever there is an excavation work that will be done on your project. Okay? All the standard I mentioned there, it was already informed to you before in your measurement 1 course. Adopt threaded couplers instead of dowel bars to connect reinforcement between sections. Meaning, when you say there is an existing wall, then you need to retrofit such concrete wall. Then what others will do is that they chip it and then provide and look for the existing bars. Okay? Then such bars, they will just simply hook and then weld it. But you know, you have no previous information of that function of reinforcing bars embedded in the concrete, in the existing concrete. Okay? You don't know what is the placement of the bars inside. Because that building, that structure is old already. Maybe the the present details or plans of that building were already not applicable. Okay? Then what you will do not guess by just simply chipping the concrete and then looking for the steel bars. Then hook your proposed work activity for underpinning works to that existing reinforcement. Okay, it is not recommended. What you will do is that you adopt threaded couplers. Couplers are expansion bolts, lug screw. Okay, this is performed by drilling the concrete, then inserting the tacks, the metal tacks inside, the couplers. Then, after that, injection of structural epoxy. Then, the drilling of your screw. Then the couplers will expand inside. Then it will be bonded by the structural epoxy. Understand? In that screw, that will serve as your dowel or development length of the proposed underpinning works that you will be performing to have a monolithic effect or a connection with the existing structural component with the proposed one. Okay? Do not look for existing steel bars and then just simply chip it and then hook. Okay? As I have said, you have no background of whatever the position of that steel bars embedded in the concrete. Okay? Make your own new installation out of couplers. Ensure safe access and ventilation to pits. Sometimes you are working on a basement that it is already an existing building structure that the ventilation is limited. Then see to it that you provide artificial ventilation by having industrial fans maybe inside so that fumes or sometimes there will be gas leaks, it will be disposed immediately from the basement to avoid suffocation of your manpower working in the basement. Okay. The next, assign a banksman to direct and monitor the safety precautionary measures when heavy equipment is to be utilized. Banksman is a British term, okay, for those who supervises and provide instruction to the heavy equipment operator on whatever direction it will perform on site. Okay? Therefore, a banksman should have adequate supervision to ensure the quality of the foundation works in respect of the use of equipment as well as the general arrangement, the installation procedure. Maybe he will perform